priests suddenly declare the omens favorable. Pausanias drops his hands and screams a single word. Now. 11,500 bronze spear points drop level. The phalanx that seemed broken snaps into perfect formation. They charge. Think about what this means. Persian infantry, advancing confidently against stationary targets, suddenly face a bronze wall moving at full speed. No time to reset, no room to maneuver. The greatest army on earth is about to discover why Greeks rule the battlefield. But Mardonius had one card left to play. He spots Persian forces colliding with the sudden Spartan charge and makes a fateful decision. Rather than organize a fighting withdrawal, he personally leads his guard cavalry directly at Pausanias's position. Kill the Spartan commander, and Greek morale shatters. This single moment decided Western civilization. Two forces rush toward each other, Spartan bronze discipline and Persian mobile firepower. In the next 60 seconds, history pivoted. The collision comes at the small temple of Demeter. Sacred ground becomes killing ground. Persian cavalry crash into Spartan spears like waves against cliffs. Horses scream. Men die. Bronze meets flesh with sounds that defy description. Then Mardonius made his fatal error. Seeing his cavalry falter, he dismounts to fight on foot. A Persian commander's place is behind the lines, coordinating. But Mardonius, perhaps remembering how Leonidas died fighting, decides to lead from the front. Little did the Persians know that every Spartan had memorized Mardonius's appearance. Purple cloak, white horse, golden armor. When he dismounts, a ripple of recognition runs through Greek ranks. Target identified. The mistake that would cost him everything. The moment Mardonius sets foot on ground, Greek spears orient like compass needles to iron. But first, the wider battle explodes across 3 miles of dusty plain. This wasn't tactics, it was destiny. At the Asopos River, Persian infantry makes their catastrophic error. Seeking to exploit their numbers, they surge across the shallow water, but rivers create choke points. As thousands crowd the banks, Greek physics takes over. 12-foot spears outreach 6-foot Persian swords by exactly the distance that matters. Life or death. Let that number sink in. Persian front ranks die without ever touching their killers. They push forward into a wall of bronze points, driven by the weight of comrades behind. The river runs red within minutes. Bodies jam against each other, creating human dams. Still they come. Now watch what happens next at the Spartan position. Mardonius leads 1,000 immortals in desperate assault. These aren't conscripts. They're the elite guard who conquered 40 nations. They fight with skill and courage. It doesn't matter. The Phalanx is a meat grinder in human form. Here's where Greek rage became Persian nightmare. A Spartan named Aemnestus spots Mardonius 20 feet away. Between them, a wall of dying men. Persians defend their commander with their bodies. Spartans press forward, stepping on corpses, shields grinding against shields, spears probing for gaps. The killing intensifies beyond anything in ancient warfare. Men can't raise their arms in the press. They stab blindly under shields. The wounded can't fall crushed upright between friends and foes. The August heat turns the battlefield into a furnace. Inside bronze helmets, men drown in their own sweat. This is the moment you need to remember. As Mardonius rallies his guard for another push, fate intervenes through a single Spartan spear. History doesn't record who threw it. We know only the result. The spear takes Mardonius in the head, piercing his helmet just below the crest. The Persian commander Xerxes' own cousin, conqueror of Athens, leader of the greatest army ever assembled, drops like a puppet with cut strings. In death, Leonidas achieved immortal victory. What followed was not a battle, but a hunt. Persian morale doesn't just break, it disintegrates. The Immortals, seeing their commander dead, attempt fighting withdrawal. But you can't withdraw from a phalanx in full advance. Greek spears find backs as easily as fronts. Then came the charge heard across centuries. Pausanias, blood-covered but unwounded, raises Mardonius's golden helmet on a spear point. Every Greek on the field sees it, every Persian too. The impossible has become inevitable. Across the battlefield, Aristides and his Athenians hit the Persian center like a bronze avalanche. These men fight differently than Spartans, less discipline, more fury. Their city is ash. Their temples are rubble. Today, they collect payment in blood. The Persian center, mostly subject troops, never stood a chance. Median spearmen, trained for mobile warfare, can't match Greek weight. Indian archers, deadly at range, become helpless when hoplites close. Egyptian infantry, brave but lightly armed, die in windows. But the killing had only just begun. As Persian lines collapse, retreat becomes rout. 100,000 men try to flee across a single river. Greek pursuit turns methodical. No rage now, just workmanlike slaughter. Hoplites advance in formation, spears harvesting lives like wheat. The Asopos becomes a death trap. Men stumble over corpses, fall, drown in 2 feet of bloody water. Persian cavalry, so dominant on open ground, can't maneuver in river mud. Horses panic, throwing riders. Greeks wade in among them, stabbing, stabbing, stabbing. This tactical detail changed warfare forever. Organized pursuit. Previous battles ended when enemies fled. Greeks considered it poor form to chase broken foes. But today is different. Today is for Thermopylae. Today mercy is forgotten. 6 miles from the main battlefield stands the Persian camp. A fortified square holding supplies, wounded, and camp followers. 40,000 survivors crowd inside, thinking wooden walls mean safety. They're wrong. The Greeks arrive like bronze death itself. No siege equipment, no time for starving defenders, just 38,000 hoplites who've tasted blood and want more. They hit the wooden palisades like a hammer hitting glass. What happened in that camp still haunts historians. Ancient sources go silent on details, saying only great slaughter occurred. Archaeological evidence fills the gaps. Layers of ash, thousands of arrowheads, human remains showing trauma from close combat. The camp became a charnel house. But wait, it gets even more insane. As Greeks storm the camp, they discover the Persian treasury. Mardonius travelled with king's ransom, golden cups, silver furniture, jewelled weapons. The wealth of an empire, abandoned by its dead owners. Some Persians fight to the death. Others beg for mercy in languages Greeks don't understand. It doesn't matter. From princes to slaves, all die alike. The only Persians who survive are those who fled before Greeks arrived, perhaps 10,000 from the original 100,000. Then came the death that sparked the massacre's final phase. Mecistius, the Persian second in command, makes his last stand at the camp's center. He's already wounded, armor torn, but fights with desperate courage. It takes a dozen spear thrusts to bring him down. His death removes the last Persian capable of organizing resistance. What follows is simple butchery. Greeks move through the camp systematically, tent by tent, section by section. The efficiency is horrifying. By sunset, silence falls. The only sounds, carrion birds calling and wounded men moaning. Greeks, exhausted, blood-drenched, begin to comprehend what they've done. In 6 hours, they've destroyed the largest army ever to invade Europe. The impossible became inevitable. Democracy was born in bronze and blood. From this slaughter, civilization emerged. But first, let me tell you one more detail. As darkness falls, Pausanias finds Mardonius's body. He's tempted to mutilate it. Persians had dishonored Leonidas's corpse at Thermopylae. But he refuses. We fought to be better than them, he says. Even in victory's fury, Greek ideals survive. As the sun set, the Asopos ran red. Dawn reveals devastation beyond ancient comprehension. The plain of Plataea, yesterday holding the world's mightiest army, is now the world's largest graveyard. Bodies carpet the earth from the temple to the river, a distance of 3 miles. The greatest army on earth became the greatest graveyard overnight. Greek losses, fewer than 1,000 dead. Spartans lost 91 men, Athenians 52. The disparity defies belief until you understand the mathematics of collapse. Once formation breaks, disciplined troops slaughter fleeing mobs at ratios of 100 to 1. Think about what this means. Persia brought 100,000 men to Plataea. Perhaps 10,000 escaped. The rest lie dead or dying under the Greek sun. No ancient battle before or after achieved such complete annihilation. This wasn't a victory, it was an extinction event. The immediate task is monumental. What do you do with 90,000 corpses? Greeks, respecting religious custom, burn their own dead with full honors. Each city-state builds its own funeral mound. Spartans here, Athenians there, others arranged by homeland. These mounds still exist today, 2,500 years later. But Persian dead receive different treatment. Greeks strip them of valuables, first armor, weapons, jewelry. The amount of wealth is staggering. Pausanias orders everything collected for proper distribution. No looting. Discipline holds, even in victory's aftermath. Here's where disorganized Greek forces transformed chaos into victory's reward. The spoils are divided mathematically. 1/10 goes to Delphi's oracle. Pausanias receives 10 of everything. 10 horses, 10 camels, 10 talents of gold. Each soldier gets his share based on merit and losses. The numbers are mind-bending. 70,000 pounds of gold and silver. Enough wealth to rebuild burned cities twice over. Mardonius's tent alone contains furniture worth a king's ransom. His war chest holds coins from 40 nations. Persian nobility traveled to war like mobile palaces. But the real prize isn't gold, it's freedom. As word spreads, Greek cities erupt in celebration. Athens can be rebuilt. Sparta has avenged Leonidas. The Persian threat that has loomed for a generation vanishes in a single day. What happened next still echoes today. Pausanias orders Mardonius's tent preserved exactly as found. He invites Greek commanders to dine inside, serving 2 meals, sparse Spartan fare and elaborate Persian luxury. His point is clear. Look what they had, and what they tried to take from us. The contrast reinforces why they fought. Political consequences ripple immediately. City-states that wavered now claim they always supported resistance. Those who helped Persia face retribution. Thebes, which had hosted Mardonius, sees its leaders executed. The new reality is clear. Greece belongs to Greeks. On the same day as Plataea, the Greek fleet wins at Mycale in Asia Minor. 2 victories, 1 day, spelling the end of Persian expansion forever. But Plataea matters more. Naval victories are common. The complete annihilation of a land army. That's the stuff of legend. Individual moments pierce through the grand narrative. A Spartan finds his brother's shield among Persian loot. The brother had died at Thermopylae. An Athenian discovers his family's household gods, looted when Athens burned. These aren't just victories, they're personal reckonings. The price of freedom was paid in Persian blood, but Greeks pay their own price too. Veterans return home changed. Men who've stood in the Phalanx, who've killed at spear's length, don't easily return to farming. The shared trauma of survival creates bonds transcending city-states. This is where discipline defeated numbers, unity destroyed empire. Greek soldiers, for perhaps the only time in their fractious history, fought as one people. That unity wouldn't last within decades. They'd war against each other, but for one perfect day, they stood together. Mardonius learned, Greeks remember everything. Every burned temple, every enslaved citizen, every insult to their gods. Patient and methodical, they waited for the perfect moment to strike. When it came, they held nothing back. In the aftermath, Greeks make a remarkable decision. They swear an oath not to rebuild temples destroyed by Persians. Let them stand as ruins, they say, so future generations remember the price of freedom. Some of these ruins still stand today, monuments to both destruction and defiance. The most poignant scene comes days later. Greek armies march to Thebes, demanding surrender of Persian collaborators. The city, seeing Plataea's outcome, complies immediately. The age of Persian influence in Greece dies not with a bang but with a whimper. From this slaughter, civilization emerged. The victory at Plataea didn't just save Greece, it saved the idea of Greece. Democracy, philosophy, art, architecture, all the gifts Greece would give the world, survived because 40,000 men stood together on a dusty plain. But Plataea's true legacy would unfold over centuries. The Battle of Plataea marked more than victory. It marked the birth of Western civilization as we know it. Never again would a Persian army cross into Europe. The empire that had swallowed 40 nations learned that some peoples would rather die free than live as slaves. In the decades following Plataea, Greece experienced its golden age.